Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Friday Night Live with Reality Realness with 3 S's and Drew from Angelcake Entertainment Channel. I'm your host, Chantele and Francis. How are you doing today, Drew? What's going on?
I'm doing pretty well, and I'm ready to talk about this episode of The Challenge with you and to get your thoughts on it.
My thoughts on the Puss in Boots preview?
I mean, just everything in general. I want to hear your thoughts because I feel like I've gotten a lot off my chest during my videos, and now I would
Right.
like to hear possibly somebody else's opinion on this episode
Fair.
twists.
Well, I mean, just off the top, like right off the bat, I thought it was a really kind of boring episode personally. I just think that this twist really killed the momentum that was going on. Now, I know that they're trying to salvage it and salvage the title with the twist at the end. So, with the fact that, we kind of already sussed out that people weren't going to be going away, that's going to be some sort of redemption house type thing. We already kind of had a feeling something like that must be happening. So, to find out that if your ride or die stays in the game, that you have a chance to come back in, okay, it keeps the ride or die theme alive. But I really didn't like the fact that we had a physical challenge with these two new teams where physical dominance was on one side and the other team didn't have like height and weight and strength in the same way, and I just thought it was really unbalanced and just not fun to watch. Like, I don't care to watch people just clobber somebody. So those are my first original overall thoughts.
All right, so we feel the exact same way on every single point of this episode. I mean, I felt the same way. I was talking about it in Tiny Table Talk. One, I was sitting here trying to figure out something to talk about with Tiny Table Talk on Friday because I was just like, there's nothing really happened this episode. I feel like we're all just getting used to the twist. Everybody's trying to find their footing. And then when a game changes to a team-based game, I would like a daily challenge where teamwork is useful and that it's like they designed this to be a team-based game. But we got one-on-one duels, which I guess goes with the Puss in Boots, which also confused me why they were a sponsor on this, but whatever. Get that Shrek money. The challenge.
Wait, but just to interject quickly, is
Yeah.
is the challenge audience the same as the Puss in Boots audience?
I guess. I mean, I grew up with Shrek, so maybe that's what they're banking on is like the nostalgia of people like me and my age are like, oh, I want to see like a third Shrek spin-off movie. Yeah, that's what I've been wanting to go see during this holiday season.
Maybe I'll watch it. I don't know. But I was like, I wish that they actually made more cat puns because then at least they would be making more fun of it. But I thought that they did. They were too. They held back a little bit too much. I think they should have gone even further overboard in how ridiculous it was having TJ say "Puss in Boots" like 20 times. Yeah, it was a silly little episode, but we have some friends here to talk about it. So of course we have Chris here, Julia, we have Addie's brain, hello, Lauren, Joanne, so many friends. Hi Em, it's not too late, it's getting late for you. Hi Dolores, Willie. Envy says, how to be here again? It's been a while. Yes, it has been. First time I can make it to a live. Well, thank you for joining us, Crystal. So Dolores says, it's been a minute for me as well, but let's get this ride going before we die. Yes, so the ride has started. We are on the ride. Now, another thing that we don't kind of find out about this until at the end of the episode was next week is going to be trivia. Fun. Right? I'm excited for trivia. Do you know what I'm not excited about, Drew? I bet you can guess what I'm not excited about.
Spinning wheels.
Okay, close. Go on.
That was my best guess.
Well, the fact that I knew that this was going to be the trivia challenge because I already saw it in the Challenge Australia.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it was kind of annoying that the format for Challenge Australia was like a mix of the Challenge USA and the Challenge 38 to the point where I feel like we got a little bit spoiled, not by results, but like just the way some daily challenges and eliminations are run, to where I was like, oh, so this is what this is going to look like a few episodes down the line. So I definitely know what you're saying.
Jorge says, finally you can get many Kenny points for your team. Many? Many? I don't think I got many. I don't think that the 400 points that Drew has ahead of me will be the. I don't think that it will be weakened the difference between our two teams, but he did speak.
He did speak, and he spoke quite a ton. I mean, and we'll say that his sister Casey spoke even more than Kenny. So I mean, you got pretty decent points. I will say Jorge is right. You did get pretty decent points from them, at least.
So Ed was planning to join last week, but soccer was on in my country, so I couldn't join. I should have joined since we got eliminated, so that was fun. Oh, sorry. I'm not really that much into sports. If I was dating someone and like they were into a sports team, maybe that I'd be watching some games and get involved. But I know the World Cup is happening. Is it over? I'm not even sure. Oh my god.
No, it's not. It's this Saturday is the third place. So tomorrow is the third place game. And then Sunday is it. It's the final match, Argentina versus France.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty like those are two teams that like I feel either way like it's going to be a big celebration and a big letdown for both those teams. Like I think that'd be riots potentially. Hi Rodrigo. So many friends here. It's so nice to have you. Danielle, speaking my language here. I feel like the twist ruined the season. I feel like I agree. There was somebody that was in one of my comment section and it was asking why we want the vets to lose or something like that. And I was just messaging back with this person and I was like, it's not that I want them to lose. I want them to have some opposition. I don't want them to just clobber at all the rookies and get all the rookies out. It doesn't mean that I want the vets to be taken out. I want there to be a fight. I don't want to just see one dominating team. Like if we just look at the World Cup here right now, if one team just beat every single team, like it really wouldn't be very interesting. It's like, oh my God, like they're both equally matched and they're going back and forth. And like it's intense because like both teams are so good that you don't know which team is going to have the slight edge or if it's going to be strategy or if it's going to be, their star player. Like what is it going to be to get them the edge to be able to win? That's what makes captivating sports. And if we're thinking of like the challenges, like the fifth sport, then can we start making the matchups be more like a sport where people are at the same level? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. And I think that's what made, I think, between season like 19, Fresh Meat 2, which I was just rewatching a little bit of. I mean, you had this whole bounce back and forth between the West rivalry and the Kenny rivalry and going back and forth to the point where, I mean, there was major power shifts during that season. And I think that's where people kind of go back to where they say it's the golden age of the challenge, because there were these rivalries, there were these power struggles in the game where, I mean, just a little bit of momentum could change the game drastically. And you didn't have such a dominant force in certain aspects of the game or certain seasons where it was actually really fun. But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Well, I just like it's just not a fair fight. I don't enjoy just seeing the vets being so easily able to take control of the season and dominate. And they were already doing that before, but it was a little bit slower when they were in the pairs, And then literally the week where we might have gotten at least an interesting person like team in the zone and three other teams in the draw, we kind of give Fessy a pass here because I would have loved to see him show some his like who he was working with or wasn't working with, or definitely would have caused some drama. Instead, he gets to pick a stacked team and gets to like dominate in their first team competition. It's not fun. We knew that they were going to win, right? Like, was there drama there?
Yeah,
I was more so the suspense is like, is someone going to get hurt?
Yeah. And they undercut. They did undercut some of the daily challenge because it was so dominant. And then Nani did come back, and I mean, I was really surprised how she came back relatively quickly. after that hit, and she seemed really knocked out. I mean, if you're laying in the water completely not moving, I think that's I think that I would raise questions. Like I would want a second and maybe a third opinion on if she did get a head injury or a concussion, because there were some people in my comment section that thought that she definitely got a concussion, but when she came back, she was like, "No, everything was fine. Nothing was wrong. Nothing happened." And it's like, I think something did happen. I don't know.
Well, also, was it you that was speculating? I might have been, but somebody was speculating that I watched that they did her fall in slow motion so it wouldn't look as bad as it looked in like real time. And
Yeah.
I really wonder what that would look like in real time because like we saw like Fessy like, oh my god, like like if that was the same moment. And people were like, oh, that was bad. And it looked bad, but it didn't look as bad as people's reactions were. So I am curious if they changed the speed of that in order for us to not be more worried about Nani.
I'm thinking that in the trailer they did show it in real time. I don't know if they showed the impact of when she hit the water, but I do think that they showed it in real time in like the promos and the trailers because that was put everywhere. But yeah, I think they also did change the speed because they didn't want it to look as bad. I think Christina is also saying the Leroy one. It reminded me a lot of the Leroy fall and
Oh,
the
that one looked
vendettas.
bad though.
That one was really bad, and they didn't stop. They didn't show that in slow motion, and
I
that
think that
was
they learned their
really
lesson
bad.
though, being like, maybe we shouldn't do this because that looked
Yeah. He
bad.
was also face down in that water, which is scary. I mean,
Very
she was face
scary.
up at least, so she was at least able to get herself face up
Here.
and floating.
So Joanne wants to know, what did you write on your board this week? I can't see it actually.
Oh, it's to because of Kenny, he is forgotten but not gone. Instead of
Forgotten but
gone
not gone.
instead of gone but not forgotten, he is forgotten but not gone.
Sorry, I actually just got it. Thank you for making me understand what the joke was. I wasn't actually listening properly, and then you reiterated, probably because I didn't give you the right reaction. So yes, he is forgotten but not gone. He's still in this game for sure. So Willie says I likes Mariah's team, but they aren't tall exactly, and as physical as the other team exactly. So I didn't understand why then they needed to make this particular daily. Why?
Because of the Puss in Boots. What are you
But
talking
like
about?
they didn't even really. It wasn't even really that. Other than the fact that you have like Tori and I think it was like Amber like acting like cats.
Yeah.
Everybody else was just. It was pretty normal. It didn't seem like if I didn't know that this was a Puss in Boots challenge, I wouldn't be able to tell that it was was different than just combat on a beam.
Yeah, I wish they would have done something different because I mean, even just last season with their movie promotion, that was Top Gun Maverick, and they had a full jet, they had everybody
That's
dressed up, they
cool.
had everybody like in doing their thing and having a good time with it. And then we get a couple of cat photos, a cameo that MTV paid for Antonio Banderas to talk about the movie, show a little teaser, and then we got kind of like a hall brawl, but on a bridge because it's a duel. To me, it was very lackluster, both in execution and in actual results of the actual daily challenge. It wasn't my favorite, especially when this being the first team daily challenge. It was pretty lackluster.
What did you think of Bananas being the only one on his team that didn't win his round?
I know he's going to go on his podcast and talk about how he threw this one. He didn't need to win. Why even win? I mean, my whole team is going to win. I mean, we got Fessel. He's going to take out everybody. So why would I need to win? I want to show myself off as somebody who is not a threat. So when we do get put
I
into
mean, it's true.
interrogation or the other team, they're not going to want to send me directly in because I'm not helping my team. I'm hurting my team. And
I
he's going
mean,
to say all of that.
yeah, I
So
mean, it's true. He's got a point, but I do think that he was trying to win. So, okay, Danielle is suggesting that having like a randomizer to pick these teams. How do you think that would have been better, or do you like the fact that Mariah and Fessy? I wish that they had come to an agreement as opposed to it going back and forth in like a not an actual snake draft where it just did actually make sense. The how the picking was going. So, how do you think they could have maybe chosen the teams better?
I mean, I think that they wanted to do a very big homage to season 27. So I feel like they did exactly what they wanted to do. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of maybe now I don't like the algorithm, but if they could have maybe put in a system that is the algorithm and kind of fooled everybody to where now your ride or die could be partnered up with the biggest threat in the game to you. And now you have to figure out, do you want to send them in or do you not want to send them in? I think that would have been interesting, but then you're having two people leave in a redemption house. I don't know how that works. I don't care. I just think that that would have been way more interesting than what we saw here, which is just two big teams where if we remember what happened last season, I mean, CT is looked at as a threat the whole game. Nobody's taking a shot at him, but he's still viewed as a threat. But then when you go into a 3-team format, people are looking
He's
at
an
him as an
asset.
ally now.
Mhm.
So now it's like, why would we even ever want to put in CT? And the same thing goes here. Why would I want to send in Jordan? Why would I want to send in Bananas? Why would I want to send in Fessel or Casey or any of those people? Well, I wouldn't, because now I'm thinking I'm running this in teams and I need the best team possible. So it's just frustrating now because now what we want is
It's not gonna
spice, and I don't think
happen.
we're gonna get spice.
No spice. Spice free. Spice is forgotten and gone. Yeah, no spice. The Vessel Kenny daily matchup was not fun for me to watch. I mean, I think it was slightly fun to watch for the fact that Kenny wasn't really taking himself seriously, and I don't think that Fessy really went at him super hard. Like, I would have been scared if he went at him full force, but Casey's his best friend. He's not going to clobber her brother, you know what I mean? And so he kind of just like batted him once, and he kind of fell off pretty easily. But it was definitely really unbalanced, and like I just was like, ugh. But they had the strategy to be like, hey, we don't want to waste any of our stronger guys with Fessy, so we might as well use one of our weaker guys to go against him. So I mean, it made sense strategy wise, and I don't think that Fessy actually hurt him.
No, definitely not. I think that I actually started turning around to liking Kenny this episode because he kept on making jokes about himself to kind of like undercut, like, I know I'm not the strongest, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just not do this. Like, let's not kid ourselves. I'm pretty self-aware. And I thought that that was actually pretty endearing. And TJ thinks he's a very sweet guy. The one
The
that I
sweetest
wasn't
guy. The sweetest guy.
the sweetest. The one that I didn't care for was Horacio versus Fessel. When Fessel had to like, I don't know, like pick up his
Diff-
pants a little bit and be like, I gotta put this guy in his place because he thought he was a big shot taking out Bananas. It's like, let the dude have his moment. Like, yeah, he took out Bananas, but nobody's looking at him like, oh, he's much better. Like, it just seems like he always has to constantly be validating himself in front of everybody and himself to be like, I gotta show I'm the alpha. And it's like, dude, just everybody can have their moments.
He's
You don't
so
have to get that much.
annoying.
Yeah.
It never ends though with him. Like,
No.
it's just like, I mean, I guess it's part of the game. I don't know why they needed to have like the one guy go back again. That didn't make sense to me at all. I just was like, they lost. There's no way for it. Like, what Horacio would have had to beat every single person on their team in order for them to like have a few points, but then the girls didn't have anybody. So like, what was the point of Horacio going against Fessy? It didn't actually make any sense to me at all, because they
Yeah,
would
no.
never have enough points.
I really didn't like that game or the way it was ran. And then when we do get to Amber and Tori, I mean, that was after Nani got injured. They're thinking, what are we gonna do? Have to go up against if I take out Tori, I'm gonna have to go up against 2, maybe even 3 other women if Nerys can't handle Anissa. So what's the point? So they just gingerly just jump down. And by that time, it's just like, let's wave the white flag. Let's just call
Let's be
this
done.
off. Yeah, let's just be done.
Let's call the whole thing off. Exactly. What else happened this episode? Anything else good? Probably not. Oh yeah, sorry. What is Christina saying here? Or sorry, Lauren saying here? Lauren says, maybe I'm imagining things, but I could have sworn all the contestants were photographed with the same cat.
Yeah, it was Tori and Jordan's cat that was shown
Daughter.
over and over again, but it was Tori was shown with her cat, then Jordan, then Bananas was also shown, and I think a few other people were shown. It just shows that they're
they all had cats,
Devin.
and then I only really noticed Olivia with her 2 cats, but I guess other people must have shown, and I just didn't notice.
Amber and Chauncey was shown with a cat during the holidays. Horacio was shown at like a big rescue cat area, and then everybody else was shown probably mainly with Tori's cat, with Devin, Jordan, Bananas, all being seen with the same cat.
So Dolores is going to watch the movie, but not because she saw it on the challenge. Are you going to watch this movie?
If the mood is right and it's up on Peacock, because it's done by Universal, I'm pretty sure of, because that's who owns Shrek. Then if it's put on Peacock, maybe I'll find my way to it. Maybe, maybe not.
So you're not going to be going to the theater on Christmas Day?
No, I'm not going to be seeing Puss in Boots. No way.
You're not going to see Puss in Boots with your next hot date?
No, I'm
You're
not.
like, hey, babe, you want to go see Puss in Boots?
No, we're not.
Yes, Sue, we know who you must be talking about. Fessy, he is a coward. Hello, hello, Carly. CJ, more people joining us. Haven't gotten to say hi yet. Okay, so Puss in Boots production is owned by Viacom. Okay, fine, but like, have a better daily. It was just bad.
So yeah, bad. I didn't know that, but that's awesome. Cool.
Take her every time they say Puss in Boots. Like, that's fun. Would you?
No, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to talk about Puss in Boots anymore. That's the last time I want to see Puss in Boots in this chat or during this talk. I'm done.
It's now going to be one of our new tiers, is no more Puss in Boots.
I'm done. Put that
Pussy
cat away.
Boots. Pussy Chicken in Boots.
If only Turbo was still here.
Oh my God, Pussy Chicken in Boots is actually kind of funny. Did you see? Oh, I wonder if where that is. But Jordan I think it was Jordan that responded to Turbo making that like pussy chicken. Was it you that sent it to me or no?
No, it was not me.
Did I send it to you?
No, I saw it on Reddit.
Oh, so anyways, I either saw it on Reddit or somebody sent it to me. What was his retaliation again? I can't remember now. Oh my God, I'm such a bad storyteller today. Oopsies.
It was the costume. King. Yeah, it was a costume thing of like having an IQ less than 3 and bad manners or a clout chasing relationship just to get on a reality show or something like that.
Oh no, this is different from what I think I saw.
Oh really? It was like a Halloween costume, I thought.
Maybe I'm talking about something different. Who did I send this to?
Are you talking about Turbo's picture, or are you talking about?
Oh wait, Turbo's picture was like when he put the face on
a whole bunch of chickens.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny. And then there was a retaliation post by, I think it was Jordan. That was, oh my gosh. I didn't think that I was going to talk about this, so I didn't set this up. No. Okay, I don't know who I sent it to. Anyways, if I figure it out, I will share it with you and everybody, but I'm silly.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw the same one then.
What was it? Who did I send it to? I talked to people about the challenge, and I don't know who. Was it Michelle? Did I send it to Michelle? Maybe Fanta? Was it this? No. Anyways, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have a picture of that?
It's on Reddit. I do not have a picture of that.
Okay. Well, I can't find who I sent with what I'm talking about to. So we'll pretend like we never brought it up. Okie dokie.
Okay.
Well, should we get into our tiers here? Our tiers.
I mean,
and our tiers.
Why not? I feel like we went over exhaustively of what happened this episode, and we have only been talking for 24 minutes.
Well, I mean, I think anything else that happened will come up with the tiers.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I don't know what else happened in this episode. Well, I guess we did talk about the zone and like the deliberations, but they were kind of whack. So who cares?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So are we changing any of these tiers?
Again, nothing in this episode.
Oh, really... I guess we have to make a tier. It's not the cemetery anymore. It's going to be forgotten but not gone.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
Right? I would think so.
Yeah, we could do that if you would like.
Yeah. I thought that was funny. Forgotten but not. Okay. Forgotten but not gone. So should we just put Kenny in there from the beginning?
Yes, please.
Oh Lord. So let's just talk about Kenny a little bit. I mean, I did appreciate seeing his personality a little bit. He has a bit of a sense of humor, which we didn't really get an opportunity to see. We saw some pictures of him and Casey growing up. Um, he said that he wanted to be thrown in because he wants to be able to choose his opponent, even though I don't know if choosing Horacio would be the best opponent to choose, because he was like, I want Horacio because he's another rookie. But I'm like, Horacio's also another rookie that has been down in the sand 3 times. And so regardless, he has more experience going down into the zone than you do. So I don't know if he's the best person to choose. But, out of the 3 other people that he had to choose from, maybe Horacio was the best. Not sure. Maybe it would have been Devin, though. Devin might have been a better choice for him to choose. Not sure. But he wasn't able to get things done in the zone. Horacio was, we learned that he does construction with his dad. He knows to kick the drywall, and Kenny just seemed to be behind the entire time. And I think the editing was trying to make it seem like he was catching up, but he was really, really far behind still. So he's forgotten but not gone, because he is at the redemption house, or he didn't really leave. So that's where Kenny is going to be. Do you have anything else to say of the fallen Kenny Clark?
Just to say that, again, when watching this edit, I actually thought I was coming around to Kenny. I mean, he's very self-aware of what his skills are. He is not somebody who is puffing themselves up. He knows exactly what his strengths are, and we weren't able to see any of them, especially this episode. So I actually really thought that he was funny, that he was charismatic. I wish we would have gotten seen a little bit more of it before he would just leave to go sit in a hotel room for who knows how long. But this was the right choice for their team to put him in, kind of get him sent home, sort of quote unquote trim the fat a little bit, to then maybe be in a better position come next daily challenge and the future. And like we were talking about, he's not gone. He's most likely going to come back at some point, because nobody's going to take a shot at Casey.
Yeah, Casey's in the game till the end.
So, but I just thought that for people making fun of him so many times during this week and Twitter and all this other stuff, I actually was like, oh, he's kind of a nice guy. He's just a nice guy.
He's a
I don't
nice
know if
guy.
he's challenged. He's just not challenge material, I don't think, but he's a nice guy.
He's just not reality TV confessional gold. It's just not. Maybe like 15 years ago, he might have been good on the challenge. You know what I mean? Like him now,
Yeah.
15 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he could have started making his mark and kind of getting in, but the game has evolved too much, and he's not the same level as some people. Not many, but some. All right, so I kind of sniped the first spot there. Who do you want to go with next?
I mean, last week we would go with whoever their original partner was, so we could just go now to Casey, who did get a lot more confessionals, thanks in much to Nani getting hurt at one point, and then Kenny being ultimately eliminated from this episode. So she got a lot more confessionals. We got a lot more in depth into her mind of what the game is and how her brother relationship and all that stuff. So nothing changes for me from last week's, which is putting her in suffocating and cake. I think this almost like just stamps her into that position. I mean, I don't think she's ever going to be touched. She's not going to be thrown in by the other team to go directly into the elimination. If there is a draw, we kind of saw what happened with Jordan and Devin this past week. I don't think anybody's going to want to send her in from her own team. So I just have a feeling that she's just going to be kind of chilling for the next month and then be very surprised when her brother comes back
And
4 to
she's like,
5 to
"Oh,
6 episodes
great.
later.
Great, my brother's back. I guess I'm gonna have to run the final with him. I thought I was gonna get to run with Fessy once he got rid of Mariah. Oh, uh. So do you think that that's what's gonna happen with this twist? That they're going to, if okay, so I'm assuming that there'll be some sort of competition with all the people that have been eliminated who still have their partners in the game, and then with that, one person will one team will come back. Do you think, and do you think that it will be just one team, or do you think more team will come than one team will come back?
I don't know. I think this is going to be an interesting development just on the sense of how are they going to handle this, because it does sound like we're going to have enough episodes to possibly see one team completely get wiped out, because if both partners that came into the game originally with each other both get eliminated, then that whole team is gone and they don't have any
Right.
shot of redemption.
Right.
So that makes a lot of sense. The only idea is that if that's the case, how many episodes is going to go on for? I have no idea. Maybe 4, maybe 5, but that only leaves you possibly 1, maybe 2 pairs being completely wiped out, and then you have one person maybe jumping back in, or just one whole team gets wiped out and then the next 2 could possibly just jump in. I hope there's a game in there for redemption, because I'll be very kind of blasé on this whole twist if they just come walking back in, because your person is here. You could just rejoin them, and guess what, everybody? It's a paired game again.
No, I think they had to have some sort of
That would be
elimination
so blasé.
with, or like some competition with the people that have been eliminated. I think that they have to do that to just like, because what if all, like every single or for the next 4 weeks, what if their partner doesn't get eliminated, and so they have 4 solo people? All 4 of them are just going to waltz back in. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. So I feel like there might be 1 or 2 spots.
I
But
wonder if they'll go by ear and see if, like, maybe if it is 5 episodes, if 2 teams do get completely thrown out, back to back to back to back, and then Kenny's the only person there. I mean, I could just see them letting him just walk all back in, depending. I mean, it's all going to be a weird situation. So I don't know. I'm kind of getting a little bit like, I don't know. I'm starting to lean more pessimistic when it comes to this twist, because it's just like, what could you do now? Like, there's so many twists that you just implemented in such a quick succession of a time, to where I'm like, did we really need all of this? Why couldn't this season be like 14 to 15 episodes?
or
Why did we
have
have
more
to?
duos in the beginning, right? And then
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
run the whole season like this. Like, X's worked because you ran the whole season one way. Rivals
Yeah.
worked because you ran the whole season one way. We don't need, as Devin says, the mid-season shakeup. We don't need that. It's not good. It ruins a good season, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
they
100%.
need to rework it, and I think the people that are on the creative team needs to go on a vacation and get re-inspired, because as Envy is saying, we don't need another Emerald Cell scenario, right? It's
Yeah.
not fun. Like, didn't they learn
It's
their lesson that it would kill the season?
Yeah, and it's even worse when it's just 2 teams. I mean, everybody talks about War of the Worlds 2 being really incredible because of all the drama that was in the season. That was also just kind of boring to me, with the daily challenges being so lopsided for majority of the time until closer to the end of the season, when people were starting to switch teams. I mean, it was kind of like, all right, we got it. Like, it's just another just completely dominant on one side the whole time. It's not fun.
Wait, Joanne saying Casey and Kenny were boring even on their podcast episode. Like, they really don't need to be back on this show. Wait, they have a podcast, or they talk about this episode is their episode?
The Challenge Official podcast had them
Oh,
both
I
on.
see. I don't listen
Yeah,
to
they had them both on.
Is it bad that I just can't get around to? I just never actually listened to that.
It's difficult. I'll be honest, it's difficult. I don't listen to it much, but when I do, it's difficult to get through.
Man. Okay, did you watch theirs or no? Or listen to theirs?
I did not. No, wait. No. I would only venture into that podcast if I knew that, one, Devin and or Davon were hosting it
Hmm.
alongside. I know Anissa's going to have to be there. So as long as they're on there, I'll give it a listen. But also the guest has to be something or somebody that's very interesting. And I want to hear what they have to say because something good happened on the episode. This episode was boring. And then hearing that Casey and Kenny were on there, I was like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Don't need to.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Addie, we don't dislike Kenny. He's just not entertaining. I don't think he would originally be cast for any of these shows because of his personality. He's brought on this show because through his sister, and it just doesn't seem like his vibe. And so, I'm sure I agree. Kenny is the sweetest guy. And he was a little bit funny. And we definitely don't get to see all the personalities of the player because they didn't get any confessionals. And so we were just led to believe that he might also be a little bit boring, but it could just be that they just didn't show anything about him. But I don't dislike the guy. He's nice. He is nice.
I do find it interesting because we all know that Fessel, this episode, talked about Mariah saying, like, I came into the show with her, but Casey is my real ride or die. I
Mhm.
wonder if there was a point where they floated the idea out to him and he asked possibly to be paired up with Casey. And if Casey would have said, I want to be paired up with Fessel, they would have allowed that to happen. But Casey was insistent probably on having her brother Kenny, despite not being as tall as Fessel, not having as much muscle mass as Fessel, not being an ex tight end from a collegiate standpoint as Fessel, so maybe not as athletic in certain areas. So it's just interesting. So it's not interesting. So it's interesting why she would rather be paired up with her brother Kenny instead of possibly being paired up and being looked at as a very strong duo, both socially and physically, with Fessel. And
Well,
I think
I
that would
mean,
be more interesting to hear if it was mentioned in the podcast and asked, why would you want to paired up with Kenny when you could have been easily in with Fessel? So I think that's super, super interesting that Fessel is viewing her as, oh, that's my real ride or die. But I don't know if Casey is fully like, oh, yeah, this is my real ride or die.
Well, I think there's two things that I think might be the reason why they weren't paired up together. I think one might be the fact that she wants to have more numbers, right? And so she doesn't know how the game format's going to be. And if she's there on the show and trying to get Nani a win, you really want to have a lot of people not targeting you. And so I think that that's one of the reasons why she might have wanted to have, hey, let's have another teammate. So like if there's a team split, we'll have people, why are you laughing at me?
I saw
A
Danielle's
comment.
message
Uh-oh.
when she said she would rather be paired up with Kenny than Fessel.
I mean, and that could also be true as well for the fact that she ran the final with them and he wasn't a great partner. And I'm wondering if she also was a little bit worried that Fessy always has people not wanting to work with him. And like, they're kind of like, they don't really like him that much. And so maybe she didn't
Mhm.
want to necessarily be this like power dominating duo that would make their targets super huge and that people would want to be targeting or like focusing on them. So I think for those two reasons, it's probably why she wanted to have another person in there. So to have, two other people on their side that would be keeping them safe most likely, and then also like not being the main target all the times because she wants to blend in. She doesn't want to be out in front. So
Yeah.
those are my my two opinions.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so who are you gonna pick to start with next?
Let's go with an easy one. And we were just talking about him. Let's just get him out right off the bat. Let's get him out right off the get go. And that is, let's talk about Fessel. And I
Who?
would put him right there up next to Casey
He's
because he is
suffocating
the
Kate.
team.
That's where you had her,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Because I just think that he is in a really good spot with his team. He's the team captain. He's the tallest dude. Nobody really wants to go after him. I just think that he's just going to sit there and try to call the shots. I mean, the way he was talking with Tori, I was just like, dude, I see right through what she's trying to do, but maybe I should go with her. It's like, dude, just say she has a good idea and move on. Like, it was just ridiculous. So I think nobody's really going to try to go for him in these two team formats. His team doesn't want to throw him in. and I don't think the other team is going to throw him in. So I don't really have much else to say about this.
Yeah, I can't really see him going anywhere else. He's not really queen for the day. Like, is he queen for the day for the fact that he wore oven mitts while he was giving his speech to his team? Maybe, or maybe he was literally stirring the pot, and didn't want to burn his hands. But I mean, he is suffocating in Keika. He is well insulated. Nobody's really coming for him. I think in this new team format, it will be really hard to get him out. And if you take that shot and you miss, he's coming for you, and he might win more power because of that team. So yeah, he's in a really good spot. But he's not really doing anything super messy. He's not doing anything super impressive. He's just allowing himself to be insulated by his size and by his team and by his alliances. And so, unfortunately, I have to agree that he is suffocating in Cake. And I think that position for him behind Casey is good because Casey is a little bit more intentional with her alliances. A little bit. But
yeah,
not much.
100%.
A little bit. All right, so Mariah's on fire. What's Mariah? Oh, Mariah. I think we might. Do I put Mariah in Someone Stole Their Toys? Because, she seemed like she was going to have a better team than she ended up getting. When she was like, let's start again, let's start from scratch. We kind of were like, okay, this was last week, but she's really going to be a force against Fessy and get a really great team, or like not allow him to have such a strong team, and hers would be a little bit more there would be a little bit more balance. But it didn't really end up happening, and it seems as though he kind of got one up on her without her even noticing, which is kind of like someone stealing their toys and popping their balloon and knocking their ice cream out of their hand. Like, I think she doesn't even realize how unbalanced their teams are. So that's where I'm going to put her for right now, but I could be easily convinced in many other positions.
Mariah was a more difficult person to try to figure out where she would be put into our tiers because she really didn't do a whole lot this past week's episode, so it was hard to like pinpoint where to go with her. I could see her being a scapegoat, just for the sole fact that if her team loses on a Woman's Day, I think she could be a person that is easily sent directly in by the other team. I don't think Fessel would even put up a fight to try to keep her from going in, or somebody pulling the safe sword and then throwing her into the elimination. So I could see her being a scapegoat in future episodes, but I do think that where you put her is the correct placement, just for the sole fact that when the episode started, she's like, we got a great team and we're going to do
with like zero enthusiasm.
I mean, nobody was enthused in that.
And then Nani's like, we got a good team here, guys. Like, Mariah, I'm so impressed by the team that you chose. Like there's no way she's being truthful there. And with like Bananas calling them the bad news bearers, I think it was. Like, anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's all good. I mean, and so hearing her say that she feels like they had a really great team to absolutely get decimated in the first challenge together, I think is a good placement to, as somebody, or it's kind of like somebody popping your balloon and taking your toy away and kind of just deflating you. So I think that's a good spot for her.
Hi, Tokyo Traveler. Queen Mariah has unfollowed Fessy. I mean, are we surprised? No. Mariah said that Fessy is going to show more of his true colors in upcoming episodes, and Jen followed him today. Why today? I guess maybe after taping the reunion.
Ooh, that could be it. Yeah.
Oh, because maybe she's hearing even more of like how much she didn't care about her as a partner.
I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, Envy hoping Fessy gets eliminated right before the final. That would be funny. That would be delicious. It would be just so good. So he can cry another tear. Willie hopes that Fessy will get a taste of his own medicine and miss the final. Yep, I do too. I mean, I think that's what the world wants at this point. Oh, so Zuzali thinks that Fest is going to get eliminated in the purge. Are we going to have a purge? I don't know if we have enough people for a purge. Maybe if everybody does come back, maybe that would end up being the purge challenge. That everybody that's still left will be all competing for in the purge, and so that could be it. Actually,
Maybe. I mean,
so say there's 4 teams that, or 4, half of a ride or die is out. And then they're like, we're bringing them back in to join up with their original partners. And then everybody that's still left, I guess that would be everybody. And they just do a purge and only like 4 teams come back. I don't know, something.
yeah, I don't know. They're grasping at straws just to get to a 22 episode mark. So I don't know about purges, but we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens when in well into January, close to February of next year, when this twist really comes back in. So we'll see.
I mean, maybe we'll get a redemption house, Drew. There, we might, right? Maybe.
Normally, this is what I'll say. Normally, if there is a redemption house, we see the redemption house right off the bat. If you remember Battle of the Exiles, Battle of the Exiled, I mean, we saw the people entering Dirty 30. They entered the redemption house. The same thing with Final Reckoning. This was just Kenny coming out and seeing TJ at the zone. So
I agree.
I almost think that it's just going to be Kenny sitting in a hotel room for a couple of days and watching Netflix.
But what if
maybe Paramount Plus?
They have him in a hotel room until they bring in somebody else,
and then they join the hotel room, and then it's just a sleepover.
Exactly. Or they both go into the redemption house. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. Okay, so who am I doing now? Oh boy. I guess we'll talk about, I'm going to say Chauncey. Chauncey was pretty strong enough to make Amber be like, "Oh, baby, you're kind of hot here," with him in the daily. But I still think he's going to be a scapegoat. I don't think that anybody's really scared of throwing him in. Yes, he did a really good job with his match. Who is he up against? Jordan. And he did really well against Jordan. Obviously, he's a bigger guy than Jordan. He's also like a decade younger than Jordan. Shocking to say that, but I think he's 9 years younger than Jordan. And so I would expect him to be able to get one up on him. But I do think that if he does lose, I think that there's a high chance he will be the direct vote definitely will be going into the draw, obviously, because everybody will be, but it's a very, very big chance that he's going into the direct vote. So I think he's a scapegoat, even though he was strong here and he got Bananas out. Jordan out.
I mean, I have to agree with you here again. I mean, I think winning his spot in the daily against Jordan was a huge get. It was amazing. I mean, it had to feel like an amazing feeling to win against a 3-time champ, somebody who is really looked at as a big threat, a great player in the game as Jordan, and then being able to win against him. And then the only thing that wasn't good with Chauncey was that him, Nelson, and Olivia were left out of the talks of who to vote into the elimination, which I almost think that maybe kind of goes towards the popping of the balloon a little bit, just in the sense that
they thought they were in a better position.
Yeah, that this is the first vote. It's not even like this is the second vote or the third vote. This is the first vote, and you're supposed to be at your most unified on the first vote, and now you're kind of sitting there like, oh shoot, like we're now on the outs, and the next day is no, it's not a guy's day next. But if you lose a guy's day, I mean, you're definitely going in. I mean, he's the one of only 2 rookies on that team, so he's definitely going to be going in most likely, no matter who on their team or from the other team. But I just think it's a really bad position to be in. And then to end the episode like that, being like, maybe I'm not as connected with my own team as I thought I was, is a really bad position moving forward to the next challenge.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I definitely think that next week, if no, well, the week after, if it's a guy's day, they lose, they go in, then he might be in the scapegoat category. But yeah, I think I have to agree with you that there was a big reality check with where they stood in the team, and I think that you were right, and I think that he's in a better position though than Mariah, just because he has the physical strength on his side, so he might not, see an elimination, or like they might not lose potentially. But yeah, I have to agree with you. Sold. Thanks, Drew. You won me over. So Joanna's saying here that Kenny said in the podcast that he was in a hotel for 16 days. Okay, mystery solved. Mystery solved. Okay, so I guess you're gonna go with Amber.
Yes, let's go with Amber. And I guess I'm going to put her in scapegoat. I mean, this was a really tough challenge
Episode.
and
Mhm.
episode to like pinpoint certain people, because after a certain point, it's like a lot of people just didn't do a whole lot, but we could speculate where they could have been or where they're kind of seated based off of previous performances. And if, say, the shoe was on the other foot, what would have happened? I think that she would have been an easy scapegoat, whether you're pulling the swords or if you're from the other team. I think Fessel and Casey wouldn't mind saying Amber's name, but if they were trying to play nice, they would probably say a rookie's name just to get it out there. So, but just for Amber, knowing her past history and then knowing that she can win eliminations, especially if she is going up against possibly really anybody on her team. Now that I'm looking at it, I think she could take on anybody on her team and possibly come back. So, but I think she's going to be looked at as that person to possibly go in and not worry about repercussions or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't really see any other place to put her. She's definitely not suffocating in cake, because nobody really wants to work with her or really be in the game with her, except for maybe Mariah, and like that's not necessarily a strong ally here, because Mariah's not that well positioned. She's definitely not stirring the pot. Um, I wouldn't say that she's in somebody stole their toys category, because she knows that she's kind of in a shitty position. There's no disillusionment, so she's not built for comfort. She's willing to get her hands dirty and go in, and she's still in the game, so I think that there's no other spot for her other than scapegoat. So I agree with you here.
Woo!
Agreed. You. Who do you got next?
Since we were already talking about Chauncey and his positioning, I think we should go with Olivia just to talk about her positioning. And I think it's going to be pretty much similar to Chauncey. I almost wanted to just say, put her right next to him. And everything that I just said for Chauncey goes for Olivia, because she is the other rookie on her team. If there is a Women's Day, which is coming up, I think that's the next week. And then they're doing trivia, which I think spells bad news, one, for Fessel's team, and then two, spells very bad news for Olivia. Because I think because everybody, quote unquote, played nice this week, that it would be returned with the favor. And Olivia, kind of like Horacio, has seen multiple eliminations this season, and they just wouldn't care about sending her right back into elimination and possibly being the team vote to go directly in. So I think she's going to have her balloon popped, especially when she was frustrated that this coup was kind of put in place and her partner or her former partner was at the end of the vote of 7-1, and she had to be the lone vote to not
Voted for
be
Kenny.
voting for her own partner. So it's frustrating, but I think that she is there.
Well, I think she might also could fit into the scapegoat category, for the fact that she's a rookie, and so they can easily be like, "You're a rookie." You know what I mean? Like, Horacio just went in last week. You're gonna go in this week. I could see them easily be just saying that, and not like, she reacts really well when people are nominating her, and so I don't think people are scared to put her in, because she's just so agreeable and she's fine with it, and she goes back down and she comes back out, and so she doesn't become really super vindictive, it seems. Maybe next season she will be, but this season she's quite fine with going down. So I feel like they might use that as an opportunity because she's not really going to get that mad. And also, who is on her team? So on her team is what? Tori,
Casey.
Anissa, and Casey. So I also think that they were going to want to put her into the zone because everybody else is going to be saving each other, right? If they would never put, I don't think they would put Tori in right away. Would they put Anissa in on Fessy's team? Ouch. I mean, I think that they would put Olivia in, most likely.
The other team would vote Olivia directly into the elimination just for the other team having to make that hard decision of who to send in. So if Tori pulls the safe sword, she's going to have to either choose her friendship with Anissa or what's quote unquote best for the team and keeping Casey safe. So I think that's where they don't want them to give anybody the safe route out. I think they would be like, oh, well, we put the rookie in. Now you have to do your dirty work on who you want to throw directly into the elimination. So that's why I thought that Olivia should be in Pop Balloon, especially after hearing like, oh, why don't we know anything? Why didn't we talk about it? And then to be completely left out of the conversation. But I understand where you're coming from with her being the scapegoat. It's just going to be a really tough battle if more girl days are lost by Fessel. It's going to be a lot tougher after the whole Anissa being gone.
Queen. People are thinking scapegoat. She's self-aware, but I think that I think she's more self-aware than Pop the bubble position, Pop the balloon.
Okay.
I think she knows she's going to be. I think she knows she's going to be the scapegoat. Like I think she expects it. I don't know. I think that for me, there suits her more, just because, like, yes, she was left out. Wait, so it's her, Nelson, and who was the last person that was left out?
It was Nelson, Chauncey, and Olivia.
Chauncey. I still just think, I guess because it's going to be a girls' day next week, I just feel like she's just going to be the scapegoat. Like, no matter what, there's no way that she's going to get out of the position of being a scapegoat. And I don't think I mean, it sucked that she didn't know what was going on, but it was also a guy's elimination.
Okay.
For now, I want to keep it there, but I can be convinced still, I think. Drew, you're okay with it?
Okay. Yeah, I said okay. I'm good.
Okay, sure. So then, who's her partner? Orazio. Orazio. I think he's also in the scapegoat position. I think he might be ahead of everybody here, just for the fact that, like, I think they're going to keep on throwing him in. I don't think that they'll have any mercy for it. If he they keep on still saying that you're awesome, saying you're the best. We're only putting you in because we think you're amazing, and he's okay with it. He's kind of expecting to go in, and he's not afraid to. He's gone down in the sand 4 times. He's come out. He's expecting to go in a 5th time. So I think he's expecting to be the scapegoat here, especially for the guys. So yeah, I don't see him really moving from this position right now. And I don't think that he's disillusioned by what's going on in the game. He knows his position and it's on the bottom and he's just got to fight to stay.
I think moving forward, he is definitely a scapegoat and it's going to get tougher now that Kenny's out of the game and he's going to have to possibly be going up against Jordan or Devin moving forward. But just this episode, I think he's up at the tippy top.
Oh,
I think he is queen for the day. For one, getting the only point for his team during the daily, and then being called out by the other team by a vote of 7-1, not having your old partner on another team even vote for you, to just go with the crowd, and then him taking care of business, winning his 4th daily of the season. And he won solo and with nobody's help, because you couldn't even help on this one. So there's no
Mhm.
asterisk. There's nothing there. Yes, he was going up against Kenny, but a win is a win, and he took care of business. So I just think that with him being so close to Wes, Casey, and Sarah Grayson's elimination record of most eliminations in a single season, elimination wins in a single season, I believe that he should be queen or king, whatever he would like to be, day of the day.
I'm sold on that. Absolutely. I do think he's in a scapegoat position, but for this particular
Yes.
episode, he was top dog for sure. I am happy with that. Is it my turn? He
If you
beat
would like to
Jordan.
go.
Is it?
Okay.
Is it? I can't remember. Anyways, who am I going to do next? Maybe Nelson. I think Nelson is going to go in the front of Chauncey here for the fact that his boy Fessy that he didn't throw into the zone, even though like he hasn't really shown him that he's a good friend and a good ally. Left him out of this particular vote. He doesn't value, seemingly, Fessy doesn't value Nelson as a competitor or as an ally in this game. And leaving him out of the vote is really pretty shitty. And so I think that, I mean, I don't know if Nelson will do anything about it, but I definitely think that it was kind of like Fessy stole his toys, knocked his ice cream out of his hand, and popped his balloon.
Yeah, that's shocking. I mean, if I'm Nelson, I'm so frustrated hearing this and feeling this way. I mean, you were chosen by a friend, you helped saved being even sent into an elimination earlier this season, and he didn't even give you like a heads up. There was no talk at all. I mean, nobody even suggested talking before going to the vote or heading to the zone. Like, we all know it's a set time. It's not like, oh, the alarm's going off, we have to go to the zone now. Who would have seen that coming? We all knew it was coming up. So if I'm Nelson, first of all, I'm frustrated because he was actually doing pretty well in the game as a pair with Nerys, and now you're in a team that you think could be dominant, and then to be left out of the first vote. It's the first vote, and you're a vet, and you're on a team with some of your best friends that you've been hanging out with for quite a while, and you're left out of the vote. Maybe the only thing I could think of that made sense to me was if he was hanging out so much with Olivia and they wanted to keep the rookies in the dark and didn't even think about talking to them. And then Nelson was just like a byproduct of hanging out with Olivia so much. But I thought that was so bad. Like, they couldn't
I
even find
mean,
one time to like talk about it. It was ridiculous. Like, give them a heads up, man.
it's mad disrespectful. Absolutely, Joanne. I mean, also though, Nelson isn't that great strategically, so he's not like, okay, so what are we doing, and like involved in making those decisions. So that could also be one of the reasons why they didn't feel necessary to inform him. He was going to be, they just assumed that he might be okay with whatever they decide. But the fact that they just didn't give him a heads up is wild to me. I mean, I would never be in that position because I would always want to know what was going on, and I always want to have my point of view and what I think at least be heard. So I can't imagine myself being in that position, but it's just so rude. Like, my new
Mm-hmm.
team, they leave me out of a vote. Like,
Yeah.
maybe even if they wanted to keep the rookies out of it, it's like, well, keep Nelson in it. Like, he's supposed to be your guy. So yes, Fessy does not deserve Nelson's loyalty. Dear Nelson, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yes, believe them. I don't know if Nelson will ever believe him. Or
I think
I don't think that he will ever not just be fine with Fessy. I don't think so.
the problem is that they are so close friends outside the game that when you get into the game, I feel like it's hard for some people to split that up. Like, you can have friendship outside the game, but when you're inside the game, people can change. And we've seen now Fessel multiple seasons. He's just completely different in certain aspects. Like, he could be the sweetest guy outside the show when cameras aren't rolling, but when it's a game, it's a competition for $1 million, he'll do anything. And it is alarming. I mean, it should have had red flags when Nelson was in the hall brawl with him, and he was doing any dirty tactics to take him out. So it's pretty frustrating.
If I got sand in my eyes from someone that's supposed to be my friend after they threw themselves in there to compete against me, I would never speak to them again. That's definitely not a friend. And you didn't win the season? Like, So Sam says Nelson's kind of boring. He knew what was going on but didn't speak up as a potential option. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, we need to wake up Nelson to Fessy for sure. Okay, who do we have next then? I guess Nerices.
Yes, Nerys is up. I mean, I guess put her next to Olivia for scapegoat. I mean, if Nelson is kind of being treated this way and he's a vet and now it's his partner who is now going to be on a team where it's just her and Mariah, I have a feeling that they're going to be the first two women to see an elimination against each other. I don't think necessarily she was stirring the pot this episode. Yes, she has this relationship with Jordan, but she's trying to be covert about it. She's not trying to be in anybody's face. She's not trying to rile up the house or anything. I mean, they're kind of staying in her room, and then that's just it. They're not trying to be in front of everybody doing all that stuff. So I just think scapegoat is the way to, and she really only had like 3 confessionals this episode. So we'll see what's going to happen. And also I worry for her if she does see an elimination.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's going to go in most likely next time. Well, maybe even as quickly as next week. Slash, I do think that they are going to have the edge for trivia. I do feel as though they have more smart members, we'll say, on that team. Bananas is not good at trivia. Nelson's not good at trivia. Who else is on that team? Casey's not good at trivia.
It's a woman's day. I mean, Bananas isn't going to try. So that's just all how it's going to go.
So what? So they have the women that would be protecting them. So it would be Anissa, Olivia, Casey. I mean, maybe I don't know how smart Olivia is, but maybe Olivia knows a little bit. Casey's shown that she's not great at trivia. Anissa's probably okay. Who am I missing?
It's not going to be good.
Tori's not great. So yeah, I think that maybe because Nerys we know is quite smart. Nani can be smart. She has sometimes she does okay on trivia. I'm not sure how smart Mariah is, but we can hope. And Amber, maybe not so smart. So I just think that they might have an edge female wise in trivia next week. And so let's hope that they win this.
Yeah, definitely. And what some of the chat is saying too is something I didn't think of, but I mean, Nerys is going to have a target on her back moving forward that if Mariah's team were to lose on a women's day, I mean, Tori could push to have Nerys be the vote. And if not Nerys being the vote, I could see her being at least the person called out in the draw, because it's either Mariah being voted in, and then you have who's on her team, Nani and I'm confused.
Nani, Mariah, and Amber.
And Amber and Nani would probably look out for each other. They would have this deal to save each other. So I could see Nerys being the scapegoat of either side, either Fessel's team voting her in or the draw, her getting pushed in by her own team. So it's not looking good for her. And again, she was in a great spot with Nelson right before this. They won 2 daily challenges. They had power. And now look at what happens when the game changes.
Christina wants to know who will give the Dutch answer this season. Or that what was did Nelson say that 50% what's a third 50%, or I can't remember what it was right now. It was so bad.
At least we have 3 options that'll give us 50%.
I think Nelson, I mean, they've been really, really coming down on Nelson this season a lot.
Yes.
So with the fact that Devin has mocked him at least twice, I can remember off the top of my head, they were coming for him before he won his first daily. So he might be the running joke this season. I would be. They even did a flashback to him with like the bark of the dog and the bite of the fight. Like, I think that it would be Nelson giving the Dutch answer this season.
100%.
Or maybe Amber, because she does give wrong answers sometimes, but she's so pretty that you don't necessarily remember. But maybe. So for the females, I think it's gonna be Amber, and for the guys, I think it's gonna be Nelson.
Yeah.
Who do we just place? Nerys, a scapegoat? Is that where we're having her?
Yes.
And I think that spot's probably good for her.
Yeah, I'd agree with it.
Okay, so who is next? Or did I do Nerys and you're next? I'm not paying attention today.
I can go.
Yeah, I think it's your go because I did Nelson.
I have an easy one. Let's go with Aneesa, and she is built for comfort. I mean, there's no if, ands, or buts, in my opinion, where she should go. If what Banana said about Kenny, that he is their best player on the other team, I think Aneesa is the best player for Mariah's team on Fessel's team. And she only got like 2 confessionals, and one of the confessionals was talking about Nani and how scrappy she is. I mean, she had to go up against Nerys, and she said she was built different, and that's why she was going to win against Nerys. I was like, okay, you do your thing. And that was it. That's all we saw. That's all we heard. And I loved when she was like, we don't want to vote Jordan in, right? Because if we kind of get paired back together, I mean, that would be good for me. And Nelson's like, cut that crap. I mean, we're talking about the team now. Yes. And I just was like, yeah, nobody's taking that into account, Aneesa. So I just think Aneesa is built for comfort.
Yes, Mariah would save Nerys. I do agree with that for sure. But if Nerys is going directly in, it might not matter. And then Mariah would probably save Nani, I would think, after Nerys.
Yes.
Okay, so sorry. Then you're putting her built for comfort. I can't argue with that. I mean, she took 3 steps on the beam and just like swatted off who was her opponent? Nerys. Like she didn't even break a sweat. Like she walked slowly. She's definitely built for comfort. She didn't do any pots during this episode. She was a little bit of a sounding board for Tori in the beginning when she was kind of complaining about Jordan's situation in the kitchen, but not stirring the pot. She was just really just listening to her friend and giving her a hug. Suffocating Cake, she's not insulated. I think that people will come for her eventually. They're not worried about losing her. They might not take a shot at her just because she's a vet, but I think she will be one of the people that will end up going home or going to the hotel room in these next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But she's just built for comfort. She's not really doing that much right now. I don't think that she'll be the direct vote for at least a while. She might be in the draw and might end up going in. But right now, yeah, she's not doing much for me. So built for comfort at the Clark Furniture Company. I didn't see a lot of Aneesa this episode.
No.
At all. Not at all. So if you're doing her, then I'm doing Jordan. Jordan. I think he's still in stirring the pot. The fact that he had the overnight moment with Nerys, and Tori is doing her best not to get triggered by it, but he's really like, he knows that he's triggering Tori, and he's just being like, well, she triggered me, like she was all on national television doing her business, and like, I'm just here in the house with her. And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. You're here in the house with her. Like you weren't on national TV with her at the same time while she was doing it. So I think that he is definitely stirring the pot. I think that his actions are going to get Nerys in a bit of trouble, because why not get her out if you can, if I'm Tori, because I don't want to be watching that anymore. So I think that Jordan is stirring the pot, and he's getting a lot of people pretty bothered. We had Tori making a deal with him and we have Devin saying like, hey, I'm not putting you in, I'm working with you. So like people are trying to work with him and stuff. And so I think that he's stirring the pot more than maybe he usually does. So
yeah, 1,000%. I think that is the perfect spot for him. I mean, he's being very stubborn with the whole Tori situation and having this relationship with Nerys. He seems spiteful. He is being confrontational. He's standing his ground, trying to even get Tori's best friend Devin, an original partner, to side with them, being like, "Isn't that hypocritical though?" And Devin can't take that side, can't be like, "Yeah, dude, totally." Like, but women be women. Like, he's not gonna say that, Jordan. He's like gonna be on Tori's side, but he's trying to be on your side because you're both on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's 100% trying to be all been getting Tori bothered and try to stir up the house, which is not going to lead to him being sent in because he is looked at as a threat and an asset. That's why I think it's good to have him up so high on this ranking, but is going to get somebody like Nerys, the one that's going to get all the retaliation because she's going to be an easier mark to get sent into the elimination more so than Jordan. But even with Jordan being so stubborn and confrontational, even Tori at the end of the day was like, I need to look out for myself. And the way to look out for myself is to make a deal where I have to save Jordan, because if somehow we're not into power, I'm going to be the one that's most likely going to be sent in. She is like, they're going to take a shot at either Casey or me. Girl, it's going to be you. And it's going to be you. But she had to say Casey's name because she's talking to Fessel, who can only, you have to put it into how it's going to affect him. And he doesn't care much about Tori. So I thought that was a really good spot for Tori to like push this vote, even though it was a safer vote, is ultimately, I think, going to help her in the long run, moving forward in the game with what she was able to do and squash that beef with Jordan, even for a little time. Like, she was able to sit down, apologize, and actually have a conversation a day or so after she was in the kitchen with him. He got coffee for 5 minutes and then she was like fuming and her blood was boiling. So I think that's pretty big growth on her part.
Absolutely.
At least for that little arc there. Yeah.
Yes. Dabu doesn't get the so-called Jordan versus Devin drama. I don't either, actually. I was trying to figure out where's the drama? What happened? I don't remember.
I don't think it's drama, but it's the idea that Jordan is a person that always keeps to his word. He's very upfront with people, and Devin has this reputation of being sneaky, making a billion deals and backstabbing everybody. So I think it's just Jordan not being able to trust Devin or his game. And that's where Devin decided, like, I have to step up and prove that I will play with the team and play with Jordan and not backstab him just to get myself further and possibly hurt the team here. So I think that's where the drama is. I don't think they actually had a blow up with each other.
It's not from like another season or anything like that I'm just
I think it's just the reputation. Yeah, I just think it's the reputation.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then, if we're talking about Jordan stirring the pot, I think that Tori was also stirring the pot here a little bit. Maybe, well, I'm not sure which side of him we're going to put her on. I'm going to maybe here for now, for the fact that she did get her way. She got the whole team to listen to her, and they didn't throw Jordan in right of the way, even though he knew that they were going to be throwing him right away, insofar as they didn't tell Nelson and Olivia or Chauncey what was going on. She protected herself if the other team were to lose the next female elimination day. And so I think that she put herself in a better position by stirring the pot here. She's talking to her ex-boyfriend, who is also kind of the enemy because he's on the other team. And she was able to get her entire team, including Fessy, who's always self-interested, to listen to her and do something that isn't necessarily best for his game. I know that you mentioned that she included Casey as somebody that could be in danger in order to get Fessy to agree to this. I think that was a great job on her part. And so I'm going to say that she's stirring the pot here, getting her way in this particular vote and potentially protecting herself for if they lose the next daily.
100%. I completely agree with you. Everything that you said, the little bit I mentioned before that, as well as I would say solely stirring the pot on the basis of when they were in the interrogation with Jordan and it was like deathly silent in there. And then she's just like, would you have my back? Like randomly just being like, would you have my back if I was sitting in your position? And kind of like, first of all, that came out of left field. And then her wanting to know that in front of everybody so she could have receipts. Like she has like 7 other people listening in on this to hear what his reaction would have been or what he was going to say. I thought was definitely stirring the pot to the point where yeah, she definitely deserves to be up at the top with Jordan. I don't really think it matters which side she's on. I think they're both in a really good spot now on either team making a decision.
For sure. Agreed. Who knew? Tori. Who knew? It's your turn to do Devin.
I don't know if it's stirring the pot, but I think Devin did a really good move here for this week's episode by one talking to Jordan, getting whatever is hindering whatever in their way of possibly working well with each other and doing what's best for the team. He was able to confront Jordan, kind of get stuff out in the open, talk about the what's going on between him and Tori, which would affect his relationship with Jordan because Devin is her partner and best friend. So you think that maybe that he could be sneaky, sly, but he was able to talk to Jordan about it and then down in the draw, put actions to words and save Jordan and be like, look, we're in this together. Like we need to work together for us to prosper in this game on this team, this makeshift team that nobody believes in. But as long as we're together, maybe we can go somewhere, which I thought was really, really important for their team dynamic moving forward. This is tough because I don't necessarily see that as stirring the pot. I feel like that's just mending fences. I don't think that's like causing drama. I think it's fixing some of the drama that
So would that
could
be
have
maybe
come.
suffocating in cake then? Kind of insulating himself a little bit better?
Yeah, well, let's do that on the basis of I gotta stop saying on the basis of, but let's do that for the reason that you just said is that he's trying to insulate himself better in the game, even though the other team could call him out sooner than later now that Kenny's gone. But I just think that with trying to get a little bit more padding and protection from Jordan, maybe Tori and Anissa, and getting a little bit more pull in the game, that he pulled this move to be better, even just in his own team wise. So yeah, I agree with it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I mentioned it, so I think he is suffocating in cake here. For the fact that he's doing like he is usually the pot stirrer, right? He's usually the person that is making a bit of a mess and then seeing what happens and then being able to reap the benefits of like all the destruction that he has created. But he didn't really do this here. He was actually doing the opposite for the most part. He was trying to mend fences with Jordan. He was trying to say like, hey, can you just chill out a little bit with Nerys? Like, let's try to work together. I don't want to come for you and Anissa. I want us all to work together. I want us to be doing this. And so I think that he, instead of being stirring the pot here, I think he's insulating himself. So suffocating in cake, I feel good about putting Devin in that position. And I would say he's probably behind these two because I think that they are in a better position than he is in terms of their teams of who's going to be thrown in most likely.
Exactly. I would 100% agree.
100% agree. Your turn to start with the last two players.
Oh, man, they're most likely going to be put in the same daggone category. I want to put them in built for comfort. Just both of them put in built in for comfort. They're not doing anything this season right now. I mean, I really want to put Bananas in built for comfort at least because him throwing challenges just like I don't know. I roll at that. I know it's a strategy, but it's not fun for as a fan who wants to see players compete and do their very best. And he's just like exploiting the system. Granted, he didn't make the system. The system's broken and he's just exploiting it. But it's just frustrating to me that he is going to throw challenges. He's not going to even try very hard and he's going to go very far into the game. And that's most likely because he's very well insulated. So both of them are going to be in the cake category, but I just want to entertain the idea of built for comfort. Just because.
Oh, they're in suffocating cake. Well, I'm thinking, what if we put Banana in the somebody stole their toys category, because he's the only person on his team that wasn't able to get that point. He took a little bit of he didn't win his heat. And so, wouldn't that maybe be a better position for him, because he his ego balloon, his inflated ego balloon got popped potentially.
But he doesn't care. I just don't think
That's
he
true.
cares. I mean, especially if he's gonna say he threw it, no matter what. He's the only person that lost a point. He's gonna say he threw it, because why would he even need to try? So I just think that, yeah. I
Suffocating
wish it
cake.
was just not because I even dislike them. It's just frustrating to me that it's just like they're not giving much, and their build. I mean, that's why they were put into the season, because they're the names. They're supposed to be getting all these confessionals and being entertaining and trying their very hardest to win, and they're just not. They're not doing anything. They're trying to stay under the radar, and it's working, but it's boring to
Could the
me.
format, though, be the reason why it's kind of messed everything up?
Yes.
Because, like, I'm sure that they would want to play, but they didn't want to get their hands dirty. So they were just like, I don't want to get my hands dirty here. Like, who cares? And, like, I don't want to seem like a threat. So I'm not going to really try that hard. Like, they're not incentivized. I can't remember. Uh,
Incentivized. Yes.
to win any of these dailies. Well, when they're still in the pairs. If was the loser goes right in, that would have been delicious, because then all these people would be trying a lot harder. But they didn't have that be like, that would be really cool. And then you could still have the winning team pick one of the teams to go into the dagger, and then or the three teams to go into the zone or whatever, instead of doing four teams. Like, have the losing team go directly into the zone or directly into the elimination, whichever, and then the winning team chooses three teams. Like, why couldn't they have done that? I don't know. But that would have worked, right?
Yeah, it could have worked. I just know that they wanted more people to say more names to cause more drama. It just didn't work out that way. And then when we were, like you were saying earlier, when we were getting to that point, everything changed to now we go to a team-based format where these bigger players are going to get a lot more insulation because they're viewed as assets to their team, and nobody's want to go against them in elimination. So now it's just easy for Bananas to one throw challenges and to hide amongst the numbers.
Yeah.
Because why would I need to try? Why would I need to put anything out there? I don't want to say a name and then that come back to bite me later on in the season. Why even try to look like a threat? I'll just hang back and Fessel will do the grunt work for me, and then
I'll
I'll
go
keep
out
on
and
skating
win.
by. Yeah.
So I think that they're pretty insulated. I think they're in a better position than Casey and Fessy, for the fact that, like, they haven't been performing very well. So I think they're just real insulated. If you can throw challenges, like, you're pretty insulated. You're pretty confident that you're not going anywhere. And I don't think that they are. I think that pretty much, well, for Nani anyways, maybe I'll put her in her head, because for Nani, I feel like everybody would save her, right? Like, I think that if, say, is going directly in, I think that Nerys would save Nani, and I think that Amber would save Nani. I think she's in a pretty good position. Bananas, what would Fessy do? Would Fessy save Bananas, or would he save Nelson?
That's
Probably
a
Bananas, right?
good point. Probably Bananas. Again, I have to go back on the vote. I mean, if they're left out of the vote, that's not great. You're
Right?
not looked at as a very big asset.
Value, yeah.
Yeah, or loyal. I mean, I think Nani's best I think Nani's best quality of keeping her out or whatever, like the reason why she's not going to be sent in is because of how connected she is. Because if the other team gets power, Casey's going to try to veto that as much as possible. And Fessel will do anything to help out Casey. Bananas doesn't want to see Nani get sent in. And it's just a trickle down effect at that point. And then her being a vet, she can kind of lean on that with Amber being like, if we're both here for the team, that'll help out in daily challenges. Our experience will help out in daily challenges. So we need to send in the rookies against each other, and Amber will just go along with it. So yeah, I just think she's insulated.
Absolutely insulated. So do you think she's ahead of Bananas? Like, do you think those are a good position for them, or do you think some of those other people are in a better position than they are?
I think it's all mushed. I think they're so close with each other.
True.
I mean, I think you could make an argument that Casey and Fessel may be a little bit higher up on their team than Nani is with her team, possibly.
Fair.
But
Okay.
I don't know. To me, it's very close.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with leaving them here. Do you guys have any quibbles in the chat here with this order of suffocating and cake? I'm pretty open to moving it around if people are completely against this order, but I'm also fine with keeping it here as well. You know. Well, speak now or forever hold your peace. Other than that, we're going to go to the part of this recap or this show where I have my heart broken and I learn about where I am in the ratings.
I mean, if we're going to get to it, I can say that be happy. Everybody has now crossed the 300-point mark. It does not help. I mean, it does help. It helps immensely that everybody now gets points for winning daily challenges. Every team gets 5 points every single week when we're in a 2 big team format, because we all have players that are on a winning team. So that's really great. Sadly, still in third place is Team Chantele. You did go up huge, 60 points. You went from 256 to 316 this past week. Guess what? Casey and Kenny are no longer in single digits. They have 42 total points for you.
Ooh,
42. Casey
like a
got
third of
double-digit.
like the highest scoring duo.
You're close. Yeah, you're close. Close with that. But yeah, I mean, that's at least some points. That's pretty good. I mean, they have more confessionals than Kayla and Sam now, and more points up overall than Kayla and Sam.
We're on
and even
episode
Colleen
10,
and Kim.
babe. To episode 10, I would hope that they have more confessionals than the first team eliminated. I would hope.
Yeah, exactly. And they do.
Okay.
So that's a bright spot. But you do have 316 points. Coming in second place is Team Chris, who only goes up 30 points this past week. He went from 370 to now 400. So he has crossed the 400 mark. And I am in first place still.
You're going to spare us?
Yeah, we could just wait. We don't have to
spare
get
me.
into points.
Are you in the 500s, Drew? 600s?
Maybe.
600s?
Maybe. No, not 600s, but maybe in the 500s.
Oh my god. You're like more than 200 ahead of me. That's like, especially when I rewatch our draft and how upset you were, and then the fact that you're so killing us. It's like,
I will say that one of my teams crossed over to being the highest scoring team, getting 1 point over Chris. One of his teams had the highest scoring team, and then one of my teams came swooping in, and now I have 1 point more than his highest scoring team. I haven't
separated these yet. I forgot. I forgot to separate these duos, so I'll do that for next week. I forgot.
Yeah, they're technically tethered together. We'll just try to gray them out a little bit.
We'll gray them out. Yeah, maybe I'll gray them out. Yeah, I'll do that actually. Well, great. I'm in the losing position, but how about we play a bit of a game?
Ooh.
How about this game is a little bit different. I'm not sure how logistically I'm going to do it, but a lot of these players have cameos. Do you know what a cameo is, Drew?
Yes, I do.
And I just kind of want to guess and see how much you think that people are charging for their cameos. So we have our first person that we have up there is Devin. So on his little Cameo profile page, it says TV star dash MTV's The Challenge and MTV's Are You the One and The Challenge. The star rating is 4.98, and he has sold 179 cameos. So, how much do you think it would cost to book a personalized video from Devin Walker, TV star?
So I'll be honest. I have gone on Cameo and done this game before using normal celebrities, and then I've dabbled in certain, like looking at challengers, and I'm always shocked at no matter who it is. I'm always shocked at the price. I don't know why, but I'm always like, I'll just see how much they're, and I'll always be like, whoa, that much? No way. So just to put it in perspective, I'm going to be shocked at every single person's price going through this game, and it's going to be really, really bad. Are we doing Prices Right rules? I can't go over, or
you cannot go over. Maybe we'll give you a $10 margin maybe for a win, but you have to be under.
Okay, I have to be under, and within $10. That's pretty good. Devin, how much I would pay for it would be $5, but I know he's charging way more, and good for him for having almost 5 stars. That means he's really cooperative. I will say, I'm just gonna go high because I just think he's gonna do it. $120.
You are losing this first one. You had a lot of faith in Devin, but Devin is charging only a bargain at $96. So
96?
You are about $30 too high for Devin. So unfortunately, you do not get a point there. I'm sorry, Drew. But you can make it up in the next one. So, how much? Hold on, let's get to the next one. Do you think that Michelle Fitzgerald is charging for her cameos? So, she is the winner of Survivor 32. She is a contestant on Survivor season 32 and 40. She has 5 stars for her rating, and she has sold 113 cameos. How much to book a personalized video with Michelle with 1L Fitzgerald?
Oh man. I mean her Survivor record is Michelle with 1L. On the challenge, she spells her name with like 3 L's at this point, or 2 L's. Man, this is rough. I can't believe Devin has more requests than her at this point, or at least more ratings or anything like that. She won. I would think that, well, she doesn't need the money if she won $1 million, right? But maybe she does. I'm going to go lower now. I'm going to say $75.
You're still going a little bit too high here. You can get a personalized video from Michelle Fitzgerald for $69.
Great price, Michelle.
Bargain price. All right, who is next? How about Annalise? Annalise was on this season. We may have forgotten, but she does have a cameo. She has sold 6 cameos, and actually, her thing is temporary unavailable. So, how much do you think she charges for her messages? She has a message dollar amount if you want just a message from her, but she does not have any personalized videos that she's offering right now.
Should be $4 at the very highest. I will say $25.
Drew, you should have gone in with your first thought. It was $4 that she is charging for a message from Annalise.
Yo, that was pretty good. $4.
You were pretty good.
Should be $4. I said should be, and it was.
Ooh, are my prices in Canadian? I don't think it changes them. So I think this would be USD. I would assume, because cameos
it does
in US
not matter. I'll tell everybody right now, it would not matter. It could be in whatever currency, and I still would get it wrong. I'll be real.
Okay, so up next is Tori Deal. Tori Deal actually does not have cameos available right now, but I will read what she has to say. She doesn't have messages available either. She is a reality TV star, The Challenge. Hi, friends. Thanks for requesting a cameo. Please be specific in your request and let me know if you don't want me to curse. LOL. I swear a lot. Crying laughing emoji, kissing lips. She has, okay, so how many cameos do you think that Tori Deal did sell before it was unavailable?
So she's been on more of the recent seasons. She was on multiple Are You the Ones? I think if Devin sold 179 or something around that, I think it would be very comparable to that. I'm going to say, I want to say she sold more. I'm going to say 195.
You are closer than you have been for most of these, but she is sold 244. So
Oh my
unfortunately,
gosh.
it's too wide of a margin to give you a point there.
I was
I'm
going to say
sorry.
something in the 200s, but I didn't want it to seem too outrageous.
Well, she sold 244 and then she shut her down.
Good
All
for
right.
her.
Up next is Kayla. First out with her boyfriend's or fiance husband, Sam. Actually, she's also temporarily unavailable, but she has a 5-star rating. Her profile says MTV The Challenge. Merry Christmas. I'm what? What does it say? I can't even see what it says. I'm back. Sorry, Merry Christmas. I'm back, but she's not actually back. But you can
Not
tell
bad.
me either how many cameos she has sent before she temporarily is unavailable, or you can tell me how much she charges for one message.
All right. So I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to try to get the double points here. I'm going to say she has sent 104 and she sells her messages for $55.
Not personalized message, just text message.
Oh, just the text message?
Yeah,
It should be like
she's unavailable right now.
should be freaking like $3.
Okay, I'll give you a 1 point here, Drew, as Kayla has only have been requested 20 cameos before she's unavailable, and she has messages for $4. So we will give you
$4.
that point there for being under the $4 mark here. Good job, Drew.
Is that the standard for messages, $4?
I don't think so, but we'll soon find out.
Okay. If anybody wants
It's
me
not,
to
it's
send them a
not.
message for $4,
It is not. So this person also has an unavailable cameo, but they do have messages. This is Olivia
Okay.
Kaiser, reality TV star, Love
Nice.
Island. She has sold 1 cameo, so she has 5 stars, but her cameos are temporarily unavailable. How much does she have just her text messages? How much does she charge for them?
You said that $4 isn't the standard, so it makes me feel like it's not $4. But it can't be more than that. It can't be too much more than that, I feel. So I'm going to go with double the price, $8.
Good logic, absolutely. But Miss Olivia is charging $15 per message.
$15.
$15 per message.
She'll send you a message on Twitter, it seems, for free if you just tweet something with her @ and she'll say thanks or a little heart if you say something nice about her.
I was gonna do Amber, but it's also boring. I'm sorry, Amber. It's boring. But Amber, MTV's the challenge star. MTV's the challenge spies, lies, and allies. She has a 4.78 rating. She's had 9 cameos, but she's temporarily unavailable, and she has messages for $4. So I just thought that wasn't that exciting. So let's just go to the next one.
The holidays are really hurting the cameo business for everybody, it seems like.
Well, what about Sam Bird? We talked about Kayla, but now let's talk about her husband, reality TV star, Love Island, DJ, Love Island UK, MTV's X on the Beach. He has a 5-star rating for his cameos. He's sold 9 of them. He's highly responsive. And how much is it to book a personalized video?
A
And double points
personalized
if you could tell
video
me how much he charges for his messages.
and messages. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say that he takes after his wife and says $4 a message. And then I'm thinking because he does so much that he's gonna say $40 per video.
40?
40, yeah, 40.
All right, Drew gets another point here. He charges $41 for his personal
Ooh.
message, and you double up if he charges $8 for a text message from Sam Burr, but he's highly responsive. So if you want a message, you'll get one real quick, but $41.
So his is still going, but Kayla's is unavailable. Like, what's going on? Why is it?
She's probably lazier, no?
They're probably in the same room with each other most of the time.
Bye, Christina. See you next week. Thank you. So I don't know. Maybe nobody ever requests anything from him, so he just doesn't bother. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Not sure why, but that is the truth. Okay, this is good. So we have Nam Vo Official, international fashion, cover and fitness model, actor, head coach, and instructor. MTV's The Challenge 36 and 37. He didn't include 38. Hilarious. Instagram at nam.vo.official. Twitter at namofficial1. 5 stars. He's sold 8 cameos. What is his price and how much does he charge for messages?
Come on, Nam. Come on, Nam. You gotta charge like $20 for videos and $4 a message. Come on, Nam. Be a man of the people.
You got half of it right. He does charge $4 for his message, but a whopping $149
What?
for his personalized videos. He's only sold 8.
Nam, how much do you make as a head coach? First of all, who are you a head coach for? And why do you need $149 per message, per video? Holy heck.
Yeah, that was surprising to me too, but you did get a point for the $4. So there's always that. What about our guy Turbo? Turbo, reality TV star, Survivor. Hi, hashtag pussy chickens, and he has a cat and a chicken. He has a 4.78 rating. He sold 41 of his personalized videos. How much does he charge for them?
I mean, if Nam is charging 149 and Turbo is a big movie star in Turkey, and then he has such a reputation here on the challenge, I would think it's in the hundreds. I would say $115.
You went too high. Sorry for the red herring there, because he only charges $41.
$41
cameo. Yes, everybody went higher. Even Sam went low but high. So he Price is Right rules. He would not get the point. But yes, $41 is what Turbo charges for his personalized cameos.
Nam, do some market research. See how much people are charging out here, and then evaluate what you think you should be charging. Come on now. 140. Nobody should be buying that. I'm sorry, Nam.
What about the winner, Big Brother winner and the challenge? Casey Clark. MTV's The Challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies, currently on MTV The Challenge. Big Brother Season 20 info at Instagram, www. She has her own website. Ooh, I'm going to look that up later. She sold 76 cameos, a 5-star rating. How much does Casey Furniture Company Clark charge for her personalized cameos videos? And if you want to say her message amount, you can as well.
All right, we're gonna go with $8 per message. Gosh, man, winner. I mean, I can't. The City Furniture app is not loading, so I can't cheat and look up a sofa price. It's got to be something. $75.
You went too low, Drew. She charges $137.
Oh my
76 people
gosh.
have paid for this, and it's $7
76?
per message.
Oh my gosh.
So
Why?
people, I mean, she would be like, "Let's go!" Like, she would probably could be hyped for 30 seconds.
She won so much money. Why are people, 76 of you, paying 100 and whatever? That's too much for somebody who won, what, 500,000? It was 500,000 when she won, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then another 400 grand last season. Come on now, everybody. What are we talking about? That's a minute.
Well, let's talk about Darrell, a reality TV star, The Challenge, MTV The Challenge, 4-time winner, Road Rules, 11 Campus Crawl. He has a 4.99 star rating. He has sold 178 cameos. How much to book a personalized video from Darrell Taylor?
Should be $200 because that is the man who has won a lot on this show. Has a great record, is a legend. Should be 200, but there's no way. There's no way that 100 and whatever amount of people. I think Darrell knows that he wants to give people a specialized message. So I think he's going to actually level out his money to give everybody a chance to pay for it. So I'm going to say $45.
You were pretty close, Oh, you're under too. So it's $48 Darrell Taylor charges for his cameos. So you get another point there. Go, Drew.
Good job.
You knew where Darrell was kind of his mindset was. Absolutely. Impressed. What about Jack, though? Jack is new to the challenge. He has 2 Ks as his name. He has lots of double letters like Jack Maddox. I don't know if that's his real name or not, but MTV The Challenge from MTV's The Challenge, poet and personal trainer. He sold 0 of his cameos. But what price do you think he has his cameos set at, and how much for a message?
I feel like that 0 amount sold really says a lot. And I think it means that he is asking too much / he is still not well known. I'm going to say $73 per video, and he is giving messages out for $4.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for him. He's only charging $34 for his personalized videos and $11 for his messages. So,
all right, interesting.
A little different than we thought.
Interesting.
Oh, Sam was kind of closer ish. All right, next up, we have a couple more. Our girl Anissa, built for comfort herself, TV star, The Challenge, public figure for bookings with her email here and her Snapchat, 4.97 rating. She has sold 58 personalized video messages. How much does Anissa Ferreira charge for her messages and for her text messages?
For some reason, 60 was coming into my brain. So I'm going to say 60 and $8 per message.
You're getting closer. I should have maybe made the margin like $20. Or maybe $22. She's $82 for her personalized message. But she only charges $5 for a text message. So
no.
You're getting better though. You're getting better. I think I need to close the margin a little bit though. Maybe I'll say 20. What about Jay? Reality TV star, Survivor, The Challenge, Survivor Season 33, Millennials versus Gen X, MTV The Challenge, Total Madness, and Double Agents, MTV's X on the Beach 2, Instagram's up there, IG and TikTok's up there, 4.99 rating, and he sold 130 of these. How much for a message from Jay, and how much for a personalized video message from Jay? Jay, star it.
Jay likes his money, but likes fans a lot more. I'm going to say, gosh dang it. I'm going to say $55 for a video and $11 for a message.
No, No. So Jay is charging $96 for his personalized video
God.
and only $1 for a message from Jay. So he's
That's not
kind
too
of going
bad.
for the strategy of like, let's have a long ass conversation and I'll just charge you $1 at a time.
Interesting.
So Miss Flo was saying 82 at one point. I think it was for that person. But or maybe it was 155. Not sure. But both of you are off. Sam was also off here. Yes, $1 hustler, absolutely. El Cheapo, it is. I think I only have a couple left. Raven hasn't sold any yet, but she says MTV the challenge. Hey gang, welcome. Heart, not emoji, but like a three and a whatchamacallit, circumflex. Anyway, I'm so excited to get to know my fans on a more personal level with Cameo. Send me a DM or a video request. Let's get to know each other. Heart. How much is Raven charge for her videos and her messages?
Okay. Raven, I'm gonna say it's close to Jack, since they're kind of in the same boat. I'm gonna say $34 for a personalized video and $5 per message.
Drew, this is the closest you've been. So $34, you got that right on the money. And $4, I'm giving you like 20 points for that. Getting it on $34 on the money. And $1 off, I'm fine. Forget Price is Right rules. Who needs it? Who needs it? I think I have two more left. Okay, Chauncey, MTV The Challenge, Chauncey Palmer, YouTube, Just C. Palmer, Los Angeles Certified Transformation Specialist, The Challenge MTV with the date, 8 p.m. How much to book a personalized video from Chauncey and how much for his messages?
Message $4, personalized video. I'm gonna say $28.
You should have stuck with your $34.
Oh wow.
But he's charging $34 and messages $4. So you're pretty good with the people that are new to the show.
That is interesting that multiple people have $34. I wonder if there's like a psychology thing to it, or if that's just like a standard point for people to do
$34 doesn't seem like a lot of money. But
I mean,
like
it does
35
to me.
does. 35 seems like more money than 34 to me. Like a lot more.
I agree.
Okay, what about Nelly T, your guy, Nelly T? How much does he charge for his personalized videos and messages? MTV The Challenge, Spies, Lies, and Allies. Let's go. Hashtag. Oh, I didn't put the whole thing. He sold 55 cameos and his rating is 4.71.
4.71, one of the lowest ones that we've had so far. Devin sold them for over $100. I feel like Nelly would be close, but not as high. I'm gonna say closer to Anissa, $82.
All right. You could have got a little bit higher. Nelly T charges $123 and $15 for his messages.
Why? That seems so I mean, outrageous.
It's probably because they don't want to do them. So like they just like, okay, how much would it cost me to, like I'd be okay with doing one of these. Now, what about our guy? Johnny Bananas, raised in Orange County, California. I came to the realization at a very young age that I was an individualist by nature and was doing myself and the rest of the free world no justice by being simp. And that's all it says. He's a 4.93 rating. He has sold 500 cameos. This is Johnny Bananas. How much does he charge for a personalized video?
This has got to be expensive. This has got to be high up there. You're wanting a personalized message from a 7-time champ. And that's how he's going to view it. His minutes are precious to him, and they should be precious to you. And you would be willing to give gold to hear him speak directly to you.
Pause. This maybe could make a point. Maybe it does change it to Canadian dollars. Why the numbers are off.
It doesn't matter. Again, like
But
I said, it doesn't matter.
no, but remember you're asking about the psychology behind it, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
it
yeah,
might not
yeah.
actually be $34. It might be 25, and
That's
it's showing
interesting.
in Canadian. Maybe. Thank you, Chris. I will look into it. But I just cut off Drew. I'm sorry. You were on a
No, it's
great
all
train of
good.
thoughts. Great train of thought. Bananas.
No, that makes a lot more sense to me to have 25 and 34. Um, gosh, man, it's gotta be big. It's gotta be in the hundreds for sure. It can't be 200. I don't think it could be. It could be 200. I'm
It's
going to
highly
say
responsive.
highly responsive. It's gotta be a good amount of money then. 175.
You should have gone with your first instinct because the banana man charges
Dang
$240
it.
for his cameos. Actually, do you know what, guys? I don't think that I think I'm on maybe when I because I'm like on a VPN right now for US, but maybe when I went to Cameo, it was Canadian.
Gosh, man.
But yes,
I
$240. Actually, I'm gonna just check right now. Let's see Cameo.
I had it in my brain to say over
I
200, and I'm like,
know.
"No, there's no way. There's no way he's asking 200. That seems so but 200 bucks?
Yes way.
$240?
Let's see if Johnny Bananas how
Holy
much it
heck."
is if I'm on a US VPN right now.
I got
I must have been. You cracked the code, Chris, because book a personalized video is $175. Book a business videos is $1,225. This would be in US. So when I did it on my phone, you are correct. Yes, it was in Canadian dollars. So that's why maybe some of the numbers were a little bit higher, about 30% higher.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. I should have. Yeah. People are saying, trust yourself, Drew. Trust
Thank you.
yourself. Trust yourself. And do I have any more? Did I end it off with the banana man? Say two. I did end it with bananas. Well, that is it. You did decently well. I mean, it's a little bit trickier. Whoops, to put it in Canadian dollars. So maybe if I had it in American, you might have hit some of them on the money.
I think this just speaks volumes of how I view money and where I would spend it, and it's not on to get a minute to 3-minute video of a challenger being like, "Hey, it's your cat's birthday today. Congratulations." Give them a good pat on the back and some feline like whatever. It's just like feline feast. It's just like that's not in my realm of thinking to be like I want to spend $25 on somebody or even $82 in Canadian money to give to Anissa for her to say any of that to me. It's like that's not even the realm of my thought process. So I think this was way more showing of my personal view of money to the audience, more so than me realizing how drastic these people's egos are that they would price themselves this high for everybody. But go
175. He stayed under 200. So you had the right thought process, sort of.
you do your grind, everybody, especially you, Annalise, who has not sold anything yet, but you'll get there. You'll get there.
You'll get
Get your
there for
accounts up there.
sure. Oui, Joanne, je parle français juste un peu parce que j'habitais à Montréal pour 8 ans, mais en Toronto, je parle pas. Well, that is it, Drew. We made it through. Sorry, that game was a little bit more lengthy than expected, but always fun. Do you have anything going on you want to share with the people before we say bye-bye?
Just a lot of holiday stuff. I hope everybody has a happy holidays, a safe holidays, hanging out with family, friends, and just making the most out of the last of 2022 and getting ready and prepared for 2023 and all the goals that you'll have going into
Yeah.
that next year. So I hope everybody just has a great and safe holidays and on to the next year and just hang out with everybody. Have fun.
Oh my God, someone in Montreal is our friend here. That's amazing. Lots of my best friends are from Montreal, and some of them still live there. So thank you,
Nice.
Joanne. Thank you, Drew, for your positive messages for the new year. I think we'll still be back next week at the same time. The week after, I haven't talked about this with you yet, Drew, but if we could maybe do it on Saturday, I know it would be New Year's Eve day, but if we can do it in the afternoon on New Year's Eve day, that would work probably better for me. but we can talk offline about that for sure. For me, just come on, just subscribe to the channel. We'll probably be doing traders in the new year. Maybe I'll convince Drew to do recaps on traders with me. That could be fun, right, Drew?
Maybe. I gotta watch
Anyways,
it.
subscribe to this channel. Please like this video. Let us know if you think who has the highest price that was too high, who was selling themselves short, too low. Let us know what you think about these cameos. And if you have any new ideas for some tiers now that all the teams have been split, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys next week. Happy holidays, everyone. You guys are the greatest. Bye.